Hello, my name is Hannah Willis, and I will be giving my presentation to the bear today because I am quarantining in my room for 2 weeks. So, gotta give it to the bear. What is the American dream? Answers may vary from whom you may ask, but ultimately it's freedom. We are the land of the free and home of the brave. Not all citizens have the same rights as others right now. This issue looks us in the face every single day, but most will turn a blind eye to it. Not anymore, America. According to online source thescienceproject.org, approximately 6.1 million United States citizens were disenfranchised on account of convictions or felonies. 2.47% of those people are voting age citizens. I've been researching the 15th Amendment and where I think it's flawed. The 15th Amendment specializes on voting rights for American citizens. I've created a proposed expansion to this amendment. This expansion will really narrow in on the increased voting rights of ex-felons. My concern with this amendment is there is so much gray area that it doesn't really go into the real details of the United States citizens' voting rights. I'm particularly talking about the voting rights of ex-felons in the United States. Currently, they differ from state to state. Today I'm going to explain where I think the 15th Amendment is flawed, my proposed expansion, and my action plan to get this amendment passed. The 15th Amendment of the United States states that rights of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or privileged by the United States or any state on account of race, color, previous condition of servitude. This amendment overthrows state legislation from directly prohibited African Americans from voting. There is no doubt that the 15th Amendment hopped leaps and bounds from where America once was, but we need more. The 15th Amendment was meant to protect all citizens' right to vote, but this does not apply to ex-felons in most states. This creates a dysfunctional system where some states allow ex-felons to vote and some do not. This can also lead to states with high incarceration rates to have less of an effect in elections because a large majority of their population cannot vote. This may be racially or politically motivated. Right now, the states decide on if ex-felons can vote or not. The voting rights of ex-felons should not be left up to the states to decide. Currently, there's only 3 states where felons never lose their voting rights. There are 17 states where the voting rights are restored after a felon's release from prison, 21 where a felon's voting rights are restored after release from prison and probation or parole. There are 10 states where felons' voting rights are lost completely, or they must wait an extended period of time, like 50 plus years, to be able to regain their right to vote. This amendment is flawed and outdated. This amendment was passed in 1869. That was roughly 151 years ago. This 15th Amendment is obviously outdated and is so old it does not relate to the world we live in today. I plan to extend and update this amendment to include the voting rights of ex-felons. I plan to extend the 15th Amendment to ensure the right of ex-felons who have completed their sentence, incarceration, probation, and or parole to legally vote in upcoming elections. This amendment expansion will guarantee that all 50 states must automatically restore a felon's voting rights after they have completed their given prison sentence and any corresponding parole sentence. I will also include that felons will not be required to pay any outstanding fees before regaining their right to legally vote. Every United States citizen should have the right to vote because we are a democracy and everyone's voice should be heard. Incarceration is meant to get criminals off the streets so they can not only pay back the consequences of their actions, but be rehabilitated in hopes that they will not reoffend. Part of a felon's rehabilitation should be regaining their right to vote after completion of parole or probation. Minorities are disproportionately convicted of crimes, so losing their right to vote could disempower minority communities as a whole. Currently, the voting rights for felons differ from state to state. This amendment will provide unity amongst the states regarding if a felon should regain the right to vote. This will also ensure if a felon moves from another state, they will not lose their right to vote. This amendment would not apply to Class A felons, though. Felonies in which a person convicted serves over 25 years. Class A felons consist of, but are not limited to, first-degree murder, rape, and manslaughter. Other limitations that come with this amendment include life sentences and death row prisoners would not have access to this because they are not being let out into society again. How will I get this amendment passed? I will take the best legal way fit to pass this expansion to this amendment. I plan on taking a two-path step to take this to Congress. Although it may not work the first time, I will persevere to get this passed. Step 1 will consist of 2/3 of both houses of Congress pass a proposed constitutional amendment. This proposed amendment is sent to the states for ratification. Step 2 is where 3/4 of the states, that's 38 states, ratify a proposed amendment either by their legislators or special ratifying conventions. Taking this way is the best way fit because most states already agree with ex-felons having voting rights. By doing this, I'm proposing the guarantee for citizens to be able to vote after completing their given sentence time. So overall, the 15th Amendment is flawed and outdated. My proposed expansion to this amendment will ensure the rights of felons to legally vote in upcoming elections after completing corresponding probation or parole after completing their incarceration time. I plan on taking this to Congress to get this amendment passed because this is something I agree deeply on. With your support, we can definitely do this.